Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Luba.
My name is Stryker.
And today we have a very interesting call with one of our friends, family member, Marcus, and he's coming his trip to Ukraine, but not Ukraine. Sorry, I didn't know why I said that.
This is what it's like for us. This is why we only do like one video a week these days. It's a long time to do them.
Marcus, you left? Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Luba.
My name is Stryker.
And today we have a call with our friend and family member of Heart Rocket, Marcus, and he's planning his trip to Europe to meet a Ukrainian lady that he met with the Heart Rocket. So we decided to do a little call with him so he can answer most popular questions that guys having when they're planning their trip, how to do that, how is he planning his trip,
how's he feeling, stuff like that. So Marcus, thank you brother for joining us today.
Hey, no problem. Happy to be here.
Cool. Okay. Luba, what do you think?
Yeah, so Marcus, thank you so much for joining us today. You signed up with the Heart Rocket in April of 2022. We really appreciate your trust because it's been a crazy times, but I know that you've been following us for quite a bit, and then we had a call, and you're extremely positive and great guy. So I felt confident that you're gonna meet a lady that you will want to communicate and meet and hopefully to build your future together. So we don't usually do the calls with the guys, and don't talk about the relationship before it actually like happening or anything. But this is a different case because you're planning your trip to meet your lady that is actually not even out of Ukraine yet. And we want to know, how did you start your communication? What was the difficulties? How did you make your communication going? Because you're chatting already for 4 months. Now you're planning your trip. So tell us a little bit, how did it start? How did you make it work? And what are your plans for August?
Yes. So as far as how it started, was obviously started with you guys. Y'all were able to introduce me to this girl, and how it started was, I kind of thought early on that time zone difference, because this is all new to me. I thought the time zone difference would be more of a problem, but I actually found, maybe it's because I wake up early for work, but I actually found it wasn't. Most of my morning was spent messaging her, and then she would drop off in the evenings because she would be asleep or whatever. But I just found time zone wasn't too much of a problem. If I wanted to talk to her, I'd usually do it right before work. I could FaceTime her for a little bit. Communication went pretty well with that. And then you were wondering how we were able to coordinate meeting.
Yes, and also remind me please, does she speak English? Like, how is your English skills?
Her English is I thought it was fine. There's only a few times I would use maybe a term, or very commonly I was told sometimes I'm talking too fast, which I probably is true, but I don't have much of a problem with it here. But her English was fine. We didn't have any trouble with communication. Only a few times there'd be something I would need to describe. Oh, what I said this, but what that means is this. And so I thought the communication barrier was really minimal, and nothing that made it difficult at all, in my opinion.
Okay, so you've been chatting like pretty much every day, or like at least messages? How did you have video calls?
Yeah, we video called quite a bit. They were usually really brief, just because sometimes I would talk to her for a little bit when I could at work. That's what worked better for her. There was a few periods that just because of the uncertainty, she is in Ukraine, and there was some times when it's obviously very different for everyone's experience in the country right now. But there were times she would disappear for about a week or two. And I found that was just because sometimes she would have to move locations and she didn't have signal very well there. And so she would just be able to message. We couldn't FaceTime, or she would kind of drop off for a little bit. And at first that left me a little worried. I'm like, ooh, I don't know how this is going to work. Even if she is very sincere, it might be just too difficult to meet right now. But she did pop up every time, and she'd be like, hey, sorry, this is what happened. I'm looking forward to talking to you. And I saw that sincerity was there. And eventually that's kind of led me to just say, look, we've been talking for so many weeks, so many months now. And I was too afraid to make a commitment to visit her because of, just like I said, the uncertainty. Anything could change tomorrow. Anything could change the next day. And that's still the case right now. But I told myself that the opportunity is not going to get any better than it is right now. It's not like, 5 weeks from now, 6 months from now, the situation is going to be better. It could not be. I don't know. So I just wanted to take that risk and said, look, let's pick a time. Let's meet and make this happen, because it's not going to happen unless we just decide to take that risk. And she was, from what I can tell, very excited about it, very, very thrilled to do it. She's willing to, thankfully she's in Western Ukraine and able to travel into another country that we're able to stop and visit in and do everything there. So it won't be easy for her to get there, but it's definitely possible. There's safe roads for her to take, so we're able to do that now.
Perfect. And so so she's in Kyiv, right? And she's planning to drive to western part of Ukraine.
Yeah, she moves between Kyiv and other places, and a family member's house that's further west. A little bit of back and forth, but yes.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you that you are maintaining that, and that you've been patient and you've been not panicking, because I didn't know that you have these difficulties with communication, because all of the guys usually message me, and it's great that you was so strong about that, and knew that, and you have a confidence in this relationship that she will message you, and this is just a circumstance. So this is the best approach, I think, when the guys having that you have best intentions in heart for each of you. You don't planning to ghost each other with these messages, and then just when it will be right time, you will message each other. That is great. And also remember, I think when the first call, when we had, it was an air raid, because I was present, and she has to go to bunker, so it's pretty crazy there. I remember that she's staying in some house somewhere in a village in a countryside, right?
Yeah, and that's where the signal's very bad.
I remember. I for some reason, I really clearly remember that first call. It was very cold because it was just beginning of April. So now it's much better, and it's great that you will be able to come and visit Europe, and she will get out of her place as well. So it will be your first trip to Europe, right?
Yeah, I've never been to Europe before. I've never left, I would even say, just North America. I've been Canada, Mexico, Caribbean, but as far as going that far, never traveled. I'm excited. Obviously, the goal is to go and see her, but that aside, I'm still excited to just go to Europe. Never been. Definitely going to be an experience that I will.
That is the best
no
approach.
What.
That is incredible. That is really super. Definitely can tell that you've been seeing some of our videos.
Yeah, one thing I'll say, it's very.
For sure, yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
I'll just mention it. I found y'all's videos, and I remember I was watching them just because I thought they were just good dating advice in general. I thought even if I don't end up going to Europe or meeting a Ukrainian girl, this is just useful stuff to know no matter what. And then that eventually got me on board to, all right, that's it. I want to go to Europe or Ukraine and do this. So anyway.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's the thing is, as men, men do, that's our thing. And sometimes even if we're worried about it, we may even think it's not going to work, but we still go and we do it, and we learn from any mistakes. So, as there's no guarantees in life. The fact that you're coming over to Europe to explore and check out, you were saying earlier on, old buildings and old cities, and, I fully get that. I love that stuff too. So that approach is perfect, It's, I always admire guys that actually just go and do it, and their attitude towards it is, I'm going to do it and I'm going to see what happens, but I'm going to give it my best shot, as opposed to guys that say, maybe I'll do it next year or the year after. It's not the right time or anything like that. It's as men, we're supposed to be scared and worried about what's going to happen when we do something, but we do it anyway. When the hunters were out there, they're scared they were going to get eaten by a lion, but they still went and did it anyway because they had to do it. So, and even that approach in her eyes is something that she's also going to admire as well. So, yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so how long are you planning to stay?
It'll be 10 days total.
10 days total.
Which I know might be a little bit shorter, but I feel like 10 days is a lot. I've been planning it all out, everything we're going to be doing. I'm like, wow, we're going to have time to go do a lot of things. So to me, that feels like a good window. We'll see how that plays out, though.
That is great that she is driving and you will have a car, even though like a lot of guys just renting a car when they come to Europe. And it is something that in Ukraine I would definitely not recommend to do, and here in Europe I definitely do recommend to have a car because everything is like so close. You can even drive to another country very fast and close, and the roads are nice, the navigation is great, and it's going to be a great experience. What are you planning to do? What are your plans? I know that you're going to water park.
Yeah. We that was a little bit of a thing. I did not realize there would be a water park at this location. I mean, maybe this is my closed-minded American attitude, but I thought water parks were an American thing. I didn't know they had them, and I don't know. It's just
They have water parks in Ukraine, believe it or not.
water parks in Ukraine.
Yeah.
So we had looked this up, and I was like, yeah, actually, a water park sounds awesome. I'm sure it's warm in Poland, or it's warm here too. So we'll be going to a water park, and I've looked up a lot of things to do in the area. Just a lot of it's like I want to see cultural stuff. I want to see a lot of the food there. I mean, there's castles. I believe it or not, there's no castles in America. So which obviously, but
Tell me
I'm
about
excited
this.
to see some of the more cultural stuff. But I want to kind of my goal is to take the way I like to plan things is have a very just a general plan, meaning, okay, we do morning we do this, afternoon we do this, evening we do this. We have these destinations so that while we're there, we can fill it in with stuff we see. Like, oh, we're planning on going here. On the way there, we saw this coolest shop. We want to go to see that. And so I'm planning making a general plan, not, every hour has exactly what we're going to do, when we're going to do it. 6:30 p.m. is our bathroom break, not before, not after. I want to make sure we have lots of time and flexibility because, as I said, I've not been to Europe before. I've not done this before. And so I want to, a little bit of this is learning how to best plan this trip. So I'm hoping, my goal is that we'll have this plan. I'll learn a lot about, hey, this is what we like to do in Europe. Then if it goes well in the future, the next trip can be a better trip because I'll know what to do more.
Perfect. Like the attitude is just incredible. Like I'm like.
The other thing too, we have
Right.
talked about it in videos, and there's a certain advantage when you go to Europe as opposed to going to Ukraine, because when you go to Ukraine, it's really difficult to hold your masculine frame because she's the one that calls the taxi because it's a little bit difficult for you to do. It's not a big deal, but in her eyes, there's something inside that's not quite right.
The signs are in Russian. The menu is not always in English.
Yeah, she knows the best restaurants, you don't. Here, she's completely, like a fish out of water, and she's relying on you to get it sorted. So, if you take those steps, organize the trip, make sure even if you're lost, this is the secret, even if you got no clue, you just say, I know where it is. And then when you get there and it's wrong, you go, oh, they must have changed it. And just she doesn't want to know, she doesn't care.
That's how you do it all the time.
Yeah, they change everything.
They must have moved the water park.
Definitely. Because of COVID, also that can be an issue, like COVID.
Yeah. But it's a good way to demonstrate, that you have these leadership capabilities, not just like in the relationship as a whole, but just in these small things that she's always going to pay attention to, so, and, it's a good advantage for the guys,
Yeah, that's awesome, like that you're planning. And it's funny that you mentioned the castles because, for me, like I didn't stress it enough, like in Ukraine where we've been, because we have a very old architecture, and especially in Odessa when the guys were coming, I didn't really think, like I knew that Stryker is always like, he's not very emotional. As you can tell, like he's very serious always, and like to impress him is like really
serious. Are you out of your mind?
Like very difficult to like impress, with something, because I adore like high tech and new architecture, because in Odessa everything is like old. And when we went to Dracula castle, like on our trip to here, and he was like he was so excited and like not happy. He was happy. Yeah.
I was impressed by the old architecture. I
Old
wasn't excited running around like how you just tried to make me look.
No. But like just like it's interesting, and for the guys from the West, it's very like they adore this. They like this old style that we have a lot in Ukraine, and we're looking for something new, and you guys are looking for this older one, and it's great. That's why even our office now looks like this, because I can't bottle it.
I had to get an old looking office.
Yeah, but it's great. Like I'm sure that you will enjoy it, because Poland is a very nice country, and Krakow is like big city, so definitely a lot is there like anything that you would want, and even if the weather will get a bit worse, like there is a lot of inside activities as well. I'm sure that you already been on all trip advisors, Google advisors and stuff, like about what to do. But that you're planning your trip, like Stryker is very right, like that you have some plans and you show her that you arranging that and you planning that. For her it's like priceless, honestly. Like for her it's like wow, you know, she like there is a man next to her, and that something may not work out, or maybe you will be late somewhere, or maybe you're not gonna get somewhere. It definitely also a good thing, you know, it's life, and you should go through this kind of like
well, it shows that you can demonstrate problems. That's all women care about is the planning part, and if it goes wrong, it's problem solving. Women just want men that can solve problems and make shit happen.
And I think that it would be even good, like if something doesn't go exactly how you plan, because both of you will see how you react on the difficulties. So like to build, like when the guys coming for our tours, I always try to take them to escape room, because I want to see how the people work, like they work as a team, like as a problem solving and stressing times, and how they dealing with stress. So it's actually not bad to have it, like to see how, because only go to fancy places or like fun places, it's one thing, but to also have some difficulties and trying to find, you know, place to eat, or like trying to park and try like be lost by map and turn not there, like it's also show a lot like how you work as a team. So I'm sure that this trip, even the 10 days, will give you a great opportunity to learn a lot about each other.
Okay, well, if there was if there was any guys out there that were thinking about doing it, but they think it's too difficult, it can't be done, whatever, what would you advise them if you could talk to them?
You're saying if someone is if a guy's talking to a girl wanting to plan a trip but he thinks it's too difficult?
Maybe that, or maybe if he just
thinking
about it, even like maybe he's wanted to do it for a while, wanted to like initiate the process of say meeting a lady, but he hasn't done anything yet, and now there's this turmoil in the world. What advice would you give to him?
So my advice I would give to him, and I'll just give a little bit of a backstory. So I'm 30. I'm probably on the younger side of men that are looking to do this kind of thing. And my take I had is going into it, I feel like right now is one of the harder times for someone to plan a trip or do something like dating someone from Eastern Europe or Ukraine, because there's obviously the conflict going on, there's the uncertainty. But the reason I specify my age is I feel like time, it is so easy to lose track of time in your life. You can always say that there's an easier time later on. There's an easier time years down the road. And my advice to them would be willing to take a little bit of risk. There is a little bit of uncertainty right now. You can always say that, oh, there might be a better time down the road, or maybe there's not. Maybe it's going to be a worse time down the road. And so try to take some opportunity and do this now. Otherwise, you could spend, 5-10 years of your life thinking, oh, I'll do it later. And then you look back and you're like, well, that would have been a really good time to do it, and I missed that opportunity. There could definitely be some risk on my end. She could have a flat tire and no means of changing it halfway through, and it could mess up the whole trip. Even if she is completely sincere with everything, something could go wrong. The conflict could get worse. The conflict could make it where she can't leave. There is that uncertainty, but where I'm coming from is you know what? Taking that risk right now, I think is still worth it. And on my side is, so again, looping back to, if you're considering this, you're afraid, well, what's holding you back? Is it the money? Okay, maybe take some more time to save up. That's understandable. But if it's the fear that this might not work out, take that risk, and then make sure you do it with a little bit of not a plan B, because that's certainly not there's no plan B. My goal is to go and meet her, but just plan on enjoying the trip no matter what, even if it becomes shorter, even if it becomes like if the plan has to change, be ready for that, but take the opportunity. I haven't done it. Anything could change, but I'm still really excited about the opportunity to do all this. So I hope that's able to help some.
Yeah,
that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's great advice. And it kind of almost, it comes back to the, men do. And just because you're doing something with a plan doesn't mean that that's what's going to be the outcome, the overall outcome. But something will happen if you do. When you do, things happen. And, you just never know where you'll end up, Yeah.
And don't wait 5 years, because that's 5 years you could have been spending with the person. So
exactly.
Take the opportunity now. Don't wait for the situation to get better.
Yeah.
That's
because it might
right.
not.
That is very true, because we have so many guys who've been talking to us, and then like when we just started, then the COVID hit, and they like the COVID will get better, like I will
Yeah.
come. The COVID is already better, but a little bit later I will come. I'm too busy with work, and I think that work is great. Like we also constantly working, and like all of us, like it's a lifestyle now. But we need to understand that sometimes it's important to stop and just do something different, because life is really passing. So we appreciate your time, and I know that it is super early for you. We very apologize. Like I can't believe that you wake up so early to talk to us. So we highly appreciate it. And I'm always there for you any time of the day, Stryker as well. So when the time of your trip coming closer, just if you have more questions, please message the same as yesterday you did, and I will be happy and excited to answer them, because for me it's very nice and important to see that the guys are getting ready, that they're prepared, that they're curious, and not just taking like whatever, like and I see that you're trying to make yourself better, to be a better man, and this is impressive. This is really great.
Yes, and on that note, we will leave you. We'll wait for updates anxiously and excitedly.
Same as
for your
like in
trip.
Newcastle. Okay.
Great. Thank you guys. You've been a great resource.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll get to